Short exercise 18-4, manufacturing overhead, abbreviated as MOH. So Sunglasses Unlimited Company manufactures sunglasses. Following is a list of costs incurred during May. Use a list to calculate the total manufacturing overhead costs for the month. So over here I have our copy of our slide about how costs are classified. All costs are either period costs or product costs. A product cost is a cost that could be, or that was incurred to make a product. Period costs are just the opposite. Therefore, like selling a product or selling a service. And under product costs, they're either direct costs or indirect costs. Direct costs are either direct materials or direct labor. So these two types of costs can be directly tied to, in this case, making a certain car. Some costs cannot be directly attributed to a certain car that was made. Those include like indirect materials like glue and little hand tools, and indirect labor such as the factory janitor and the factory supervisor. So these two people help make the cars, but you can't say how much the janitor helped make this certain car versus a red car, etc. And other types of manufacturing overhead costs include like factory rent, factory depreciation, maintenance on the factory, factory utilities. So basically all the types of expenses that go into making the car but cannot be tied directly to that specific car. And that makes sense. Like, let's say you have a factory utility for like the factory insurance. You can't directly tie an insurance bill to see how much the insurance attributed to making a certain car. Also, some costs might be able to be specifically tied directly to a car, like a glue. But the cost to figure out, well, how many drops were used for a certain car, it's just not economically feasible. So we would consider that an indirect cost called manufacturing overhead instead of a direct material. So back to the problem. We're trying to figure out which ones are total manufacturing overhead costs. So we're trying to classify which one of these are manufacturing overhead. So let's talk about the glue for the frames. Again, remember we manufacture sunglasses. That is an indirect material, which is a manufacturing overhead. So we're going to include glue for frames as an manufacturing overhead. Glue for frames. How much was that? $250. Copy and paste. Next, depreciation on the company cars used by Salesforce. So the salesmen drive around and they help sell these sunglasses. Now the depreciation on the cars, so basically the cars are used to sell, not to make. So this is not a product cost at all. That would be a period cost. And again, we're looking for a manufacturing overhead. So we're going to skip that. Plant depreciation. So this is a product cost because the plant helps make the sunglasses. And you can't tie depreciation specifically to a pair of sunglasses. So this is a manufacturing overhead. Plant depreciation, $4,000. Next, interest expense. Interest expense is not a cost of actually building the sunglasses. So let's go to lenses. Lenses is a product cost for building the sunglasses, but they are a direct material, so they are not included in manufacturing overhead. Next, company's president's salary. Now, he or she's main duties are not actually building the sunglasses or making the sunglasses, so they would be a period cost and are therefore left off. Plant foreman's salary. So the plant foreman's in charge of the plant where they make the sunglasses, but he or she does not directly make certain sunglasses, so this is called a manufacturing overhead expense. So we're going to call this plant foreman salary, $3,500. And the same, next one, plant janitor's wages. Because that's a janitor in the plant, he or she does help with the production of the sunglasses, but not directly. We cannot figure out how his or her sweeping and cleaning up help make certain sunglasses. So that's an indirect labor classification, which is part of manufacturing overhead. So that's why I'm including it here. 1300. And then the oil for manufacturing equipment. So because this equipment is part of the manufacturing, it is a product cost, but we can't figure out how much oil was used for each individual pair of sunglasses. So this is a indirect cost called manufacturing overhead. Oil for manufacturing equipment, that was what, 150. So we add up all these and we get, let's see here, 12,700. Oops, plant depreciation. I screwed up. Let's see what the plant depreciation was supposed to be. Plant depreciation, 7,500. And this is why I'm doomed to repeat this class. I never get it right. And that's it.